Bill in Hillsboro, North Carolina writes to me, Paul, what are your thoughts regarding tube rolling with your products and specifically the BHK preamp and the Stellar M1200 monoblocks? That's a really good question, Bill. And it's a good question because first off, what is tube rolling? Because I can imagine a lot of people haven't a clue what that means. So vacuum tubes are I think they actually are always in sockets. So they can pop out and pop back in, right? Because tubes don't last forever. We want to be able to change our tubes, and it's a good idea to change your tubes once in a while. I do it probably at least once a year and sometimes twice a year because they get a lot of use here. And that just brings the life back into the product or into the sound that we're listening to. So I definitely change tubes a lot. And tube rolling refers to the idea of using that socket to pull the tube out and put in a similar tube but from a different manufacturer. So there are NOS tubes, tons of those, new old stock tubes. So people will take an M1200 or a BHK amp or a preamp and they will go over to maybe Kevin at Upscale, who has a huge collection of NOS tubes, and say, hey Kevin, what would you recommend as an upgrade in the vacuum tubes for my BHK product? And Kevin will say, you don't want to use their tubes. You want to use these, $200 a piece tubes. And you put it in, and it sounds remarkably different. Vacuum tubes are, if you want, it cracks me up because people say, there's no difference in amplifiers. You want to know the difference in amplifiers? Take a tube amplifier and change the tubes in it to something different, even new ones. You will hear a huge difference. And if you don't, you need to go visit an audiologist. It's really obvious. And that's just changing some components in these things that don't matter, but they do matter. So yeah, I would say half the people buying our products swap tubes and tube roll, find ones that fit their system because it is a synergy between components. And so if maybe in your situation, a BHK is sounding this way because of the synergy of everything else, might be a good idea to tube roll. Do I tube roll? No, because I did all my rolling, years ago and quit that. I did all my tube rolling when we designed the product, and I found what I thought was the very best tube for that product and then put it in production. So I stay very much with the ones that we designed into the product in the first place, and for that reason. But I have no problem with tube rolling. In fact, it's half the fun with owning a product with vacuum tubes. So there's your answer. All right. Thanks for the question. Talk to you later.